I got a new Redivus radio in from the Amazon returns that needs to be repaired. And this one, it's a little heavy. It almost feels like there's two in here. Let's get over to the bench, see what's in the box, see what's not wrong with this thing, because so far there ain't been much wrong with them. Maybe try and guess why they returned it. There are two things I like doing about this. One of them is that I never know what I'm going to get, and two of them is I like sharing them with you guys. And like I said, this box feels a little bit heavy. We've got the manual, we've got a power cord. This is, like I said, I like sharing this stuff with you guys. Somebody was very excited about this. So we got power poles already put on one end. This is the typical T connector. Probably didn't mean to include this, or they saw the videos and wanted to see how that would work. Another power cord. This one was unused on this side, but it was cut, and that might be the other half of this cord. If you do get one of these long cords, it's best to cut it in the middle if you're going to put ends on it and it already has ends on it. Like say this came with a cigarette lighter plug on it. Cut it in half and then you have a cigarette lighter plugged to Anderson power pole cable that you just made, and you have a T connector to Anderson power pole cable that you just made. So you can put it back into cigarette lighter service if you need to. Pro tip from your old buddy T.O. there. Microphone in a bag. Okay. We'll have to debag this. Running raw. All right, there's the microphone. Programming cable, okay. Unopened, no, it may have been opened. Box of mounting hardware. So we got the side screws, the fuse, the protective pads, the screws. But these are not the screws that go into the radio. These are the screws that go into like your dashboard or your shelf. So that's not the right set of screws. No, it's just heavy. There's not except for the power cord, there's not much else in there. The screen peel is still on it. So used, but used lovingly. The mounting bracket, take that icon. Some packing material, some additional packing material, and the bag for the programming cable. Okay, we have enough stuff here that this is going to make somebody very happy. Let's get it plugged in and figure out what's wrong with it, if anything. There is a little bit of reason. These wires here are separated. They're not connected together. And so they used the twist ties to kind of make a wiring harness, a wiring loom for these guys here to hold them together. Not a bad idea, but I pulled off so many twist ties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 twist ties just to get this thing to the point where I can actually kind of plug it in and verify it. All right, we're plugged in there. Let's grab this power cord and plug it in together and see what happens. All right, she's plugged in but not turned on. Oh, not coming on at all. Interesting. All right, now we get some deep troubleshooting action. Oh, I saw it blink. There's a loose wire in there somewhere. Where's my loose wire? Okay, well something's loose. So let's remove the handiwork and put in our own power cord. This one is mine. And see, I just twisted it together to instead of having to do the wire loom thing. So let's plug that into power. Oh, I heard it pop again. There it is, and it's upside down. Okay, well that's fixable. That's easy enough to fix. If I can remember where it is, because it's upside down, that makes it harder. Volume, monitor, VM, I forget what V stand, now I'm doing it. VFO or memory mode, A or B, Vox or squelch channel, there we go, function button, and direction. Hey, now I can see it again. Okay, 442, 300, that's a weird frequency. I've got it plugged into the power meter, which is then plugged into a dummy load. 24 watts out on VHF? Nice. This is supposed to be a 25 watt radio, and this is the first one I've seen that is this close. 146,520. See, there we go, 20 watts on 2 meters. And it's got a offset, negative offset for a repeater setup on there. Okay. Let's go back and do 438450. Where's my volume? Oh, I have an offset on there still. I got to get rid of the offset. Power, CDT, band scan, SFT. Okay, so that ain't it. Let's go into the menu, channel menu, off, high power, signal squelch. Band narrow, rev off, offset set. Okay. Offset of nothing. All right, that's my all-star node coming back.
Node 55553 connected to node 54199.
KM9G testing.
Audio level is low. KM9G testing.
Audio level is low. Okay, can I do anything about that? Here. Mini key. Aha, okay, that's what that is. Hand key. Function menu. Turn the beep off so I can test the microphone. Set that to 3. KM9G testing.
Audio level is low. KM9G testing.
Still low, but I can hear it. 3 was as high as that went. Vox needs to be off.
Testing.
Why, thank you.
Testing. K5AKO testing at clear. Audio level is just about right. K5AKO testing at clear.
KM9G testing.
Audio level is low. KM9G testing.
See, I think that sounds fine. KM9G testing 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Audio level is normal. KM9G testing 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Okay, so mic technique. Let's check the mic. Those are not buttons. Those are not buttons. That's how you make those buttons move. And the lock button. There's a lever on the side. I forget what it does though. See if the manual says anything about that side button on the mic. Thought I ran into that before. Option 10, lock up or down. When the key is in the up position, it is unlock, up down key. When the key is in down position, up down key will be locked. So the lock key locks the lock. Got it. No indication on the display as to whether it's locked or not. But what are we locking? Okay, so watch this. The lock button is in the down position. I can type in numbers. I can change settings. So the lock key is in the up position. I can change settings. I can type numbers. I could have sworn I checked that on previous models and it worked fine, so I don't know what's going on here. But it does pass the transmit and receive test. It passes the power output tests. It passes pushing all the buttons on the microphone except for the lock button. Let's try programming. This is Chirp on this screen. I've got it set up for the USB serial controller, which is the cable that came with it, Retevis and RT95, and we hit OK, and we are reading. And the radio says PC read like it should. I see nothing programmed into the radio. We had to go through that entire read process just to find that it was empty. So let's add something. Let's do 146.52. And let's call it 2-meter call. No tones, no tones, no tones, no tones, no tones, no duplex, no offset, no cross mode. FM is fine. Power is high. All the powers. And then we write it. Radio, upload to our radio. And let's do it. Cloning to radio. Radio says PC write. Excellent. PC write. PC writer. Switch into memory mode. And it says 146.52, but it doesn't have the name. So let's go in and set it to name. There it is. DSP FRQ for frequency. Name, NM for name. And when we go back, it'll say 2-meter call. Perfect. Let's unplug this. And we had a power problem, but I don't know if that was my power connection or if that was this thing's power connection. But everything looks pretty rock solid. Yeah, I think it's my power connection. Because when I unplugged, oh no, I just lifted that up. Let's take the included power cable with all the extra twist ties on it and plug it back in. And try again. Yeah, so I think that was me. It's all good. Well, she checks out just fine. I'm not really sure what's going on with it, but apparently somebody loved it enough to build a special power cable for it and connect up all those twist ties and play with it a little bit. I mean, it was turned upside down on the display. Maybe they turned it upside down and couldn't figure out how they did it and got angry and returned it. Who knows? Rick, is this you? Was this your radio? Crazy people. So if you are interested in buying any of these used radios, I've always got something for sale on the channel. Man's got to eat. This is how I eat. So I will leave a link in the description down below for my list of available radios that are for sale. And it does change from time to time. So if you're seeing this video and it's, 2-3 years out into the future, 2-3 months out into the future, this radio itself has already been sold, but there may be others out there that might interest you. And if there isn't, check back later because the list is always changing. I think that's all I got. Yeah. So radio works out the door. Another unsatisfied, resatisfied, newly to be satisfied customer on the way. If you like watching somebody repair radios that don't need repairing or repair radios that do need repairing, then this is the channel for you. Make sure you're subscribed by hitting the button down below the video and check the links down below in case you want to get a used radio or a brand new one because I'll have a link for a brand new one. It's a $100 radio. It does every bit of 20 watts all day long as a 100-watt radio, near zero functionality. And with the Toads DI, where is it? And with the Toads DI, you can do WinLink and APRS with this guy. So I don't know what more you could ask for. Maybe one with a built-in data connector and a KISS TNC that is Bluetooth addressable. That would be something more you could ask for. I would 100% agree with that. And if you want one of those, I've got a video right here for you on the Vero VRN7600 that has those things in it. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.